Hey guys, this is Carl Diekman. Let's talk about investment properties and cash flow versus appreciation. Do you have to make compromises? Let's discuss. Hey guys, I'm Carl Diekman. I am a real estate agent and run a real estate team in the Northwest Austin area. I'm also very involved real estate investor. I have an investment team, and then finally I'm a small business owner. So a lot of titles in my name. But guys, here I'm talking about some investment properties, strategies, and talk about appreciation versus cash flow, since this is a hot topic in the investing world right now. Real quick before I dive in, Carl Diekman is my name. The info is right up there. I can be reached at the email carldiekman@kw.com, and there's two N's on the internet, so don't forget that. So guys, to dive in and kind of pick apart what I want to talk today, I'm going to talk big picture on investment properties. Let's talk about an investment single family home. And let's talk about the 5 ways you make money on that, right? So the 5 ways are your appreciation. That's simply the home going up in value over time. In the real estate world, we've seen a lot of appreciation lately, right? The appreciation market has just gone crazy. Inflation plays part of that. The second one, you got cash flow. So cash flow is the money that you have in the bank once all your expenses are paid. Hopefully you're positive cash flow, or that's what you hope to be on a property. You got forced appreciation. That is doing improvements to a property and increasing the value greater than the amount of money and effort you have to put in. If you do this to an extensive amount on a home over a short period of time, we call that flipping, right? Depreciation is not quite the opposite of appreciation. Depreciation is the schedule that the IRS allows you to say the value of your improvements are reduced over time. This basically saves you on taxes every year. And then finally, you got loan pay down. If you have debt service on a property, when you pay that out loan, obviously you're creating a gap in that equity area there and increasing or basically getting more equity in your property. So guys, those are the 5 ways. Really what we're going to talk about though, and folks spend a lot of time on, is appreciation and cash flow. In fact, some investors really only think that's the only way that you make money on a property. Now here's where I want to dive in, and I kind of want to talk about cash flow versus appreciation potential, and kind of talk about how these are sometimes people view these on a scale, and that's just not the case. In fact, I'm going to pick on the folks at Bigger Pockets. I listen to a lot of Bigger Pockets. That's a podcast about real estate investing. They have a web page and a few other things. And one thing they don't directly say, but they allude to, is that there's actually kind of a scale here. And you can either have cash flow or appreciation, but not both. And I don't think that's true across the board. Another example of that is I read a Forbes article today and a few other things. In fact, if you just do a Google search and say cash flow versus appreciation, you'll find a bunch of articles that say, hey, do you want to look for appreciation of property? You want to look for cash flow? And that is just not the case. You can actually have both, or you can have neither. So really one of my key points of the two is that cash flow and appreciation are not necessarily inversely correlated on a property. And I think your mindset should be that I want to find a property that has great cash flow and great appreciation. The other thing I want to touch on is that appreciation, or if you put appreciation online, or on a graph, it is not linear, right? So folks think that if a property's been appreciating a whole bunch over time, well, hey, that must be great. It's just going to appreciate more. Or you'll also see folks that will, if a property hasn't appreciated, they think that line is just going to extend out, right? Really, if a property hasn't appreciated and it's got great values, that might be a great time to buy, because you might be hitting that curve right at the bottom before it goes up quite a bit. So folks, let's talk about what makes homes or investment properties appreciate in an area over time. Well, folks, the number one thing that has been proven over time is jobs. There is hard data on this. So you have jobs moving to a region or to an area, homes and investment properties will increase in value. These are kind of similar things along the lines. So income levels, so not only do you want jobs come to a region, but you want jobs that have higher income levels. Those will help your homes in that area appreciate. Population, an exception to the jobs thing, might be an area where you have a lot of retirement folks moving. That's not as common. And then finally, I put laws on here, and I think over time, the laws of an area that are supportive to good communities will actually help those areas appreciate more. So let's talk about some stuff locally. So a given location can really affect a neighborhood or a particular home appreciate over time. Really looking for services, looking for amenities that are nearby. I put something in here that I think is key, a neighborhood character. And I think this is something that's kind of glossed over very much when investing. people will buy a home in an area that has a similar price per square foot as other homes. In fact, a lot of real estate agents just price a home based on price per square foot, but not all neighborhoods are created equal. I know a neighborhood where nearby that they just scraped everything and killed all the trees, and they're really focusing on a large home to lot ratio. And I think that that community is not going to maintain its value as long or as well as other communities that have more character. Schools are a big thing, shopping. I put trails on here. I run a nonprofit for trails, and trails are proven to bring appreciation into a given neighborhood. So if you kind of combine these two, and you're buying a home that is a similar price per square foot, saying you're buying an investment home, and it has these values, I think you're going to hit the appreciation mark really well over time. Hey folks, so let's talk about the appreciation on a property. So I put a graph here. I put appreciation potential low and high, and I put cash flow low to high. Why did I put appreciation potential? Well, hey, none of us really know how a property is going to appreciate, right? So, there's a little bit of risk involved there. It's a little bit like buying in the stock market. You buy something that you think is quality, hoping it goes up in value over time. But if you follow some of these guidelines that I've provided here, I think you stand a chance of beating the mark and doing better than average. And of course, we've got cash flow low to high. So really you want to buy up here that is possible to have a great appreciation and great cash flow. I have hit the mark on a few of these prior to the 2019, 20 COVID appreciation. I had a couple of properties that cash flowed awesome near the 2% rule for about 3 years, and then I sold them at double their value. So it is possible to get up here. This is kind of the trade-off that a lot of folks see. They say, hey, no kidding, do I want to have great appreciation, low cash flow, or low cash flow and great appreciation? A lot of folks put the Midwest in this category. And I like properties in the Midwest. I like that cash flow. I would push out there that if maybe not all the Midwest, but if you have spots in the Midwest with great jobs coming in, great income levels increasing, and you got great cash flow on the property, why is this not actually up here? People kind of badmouth the Midwest, and I think there's a lot more value than we give credit for. And let's talk about this category down here. Low cash flow, low appreciation. So I'm from Texas, and Texans love to pick on Californians. So let's talk about California a little bit. Hey, I've got friends that live in California, so I'm not trying to throw spears your way, but I don't know if California is a great spot for investment, guys. The price to rent ratio out there is not great, right? People are buying homes at very high cost and not getting a ton of rent for them. The laws don't favor landlords, but worst of all, they say in the last year, California has lost 1% of its population. And so I think there's a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunity to leave in California. And so if you're buying out there with those bad laws and not great cash flow, you might be buying down in this corner, guys. And this is a bad spot to buy. Low cash flow, low appreciation potential. So hey guys, really the key point I'm trying to make is that there's not necessarily a scale. It's not necessarily a trade-off of cash flow versus appreciation. They are not, you can actually have high values on both if you pick the right property. Please let me know in the comments. I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Again, this has been Carl Diekman. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.